Before you spend another Lincoln penny, watch this first. One tiny Abraham Lincoln cent hiding in ordinary pocket change has sold for hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars. Today, we're revealing the top 5 rarest Lincoln pennies that could turn your spare change into a life-changing fortune. Let's get started. Imagine for a moment that you have held 1,000 pennies in your hand this year. Perhaps you have tossed them into a jar, dropped them into a vending machine, or simply let them fall to the bottom of your pocket without a second thought. Now, consider this unsettling truth. Somewhere out there, a single 1962 Lincoln cent, a coin that looks almost identical to the ones you have ignorantly spent, could be worth up to $750,000. You read that correctly. $750,000 for a penny that was never meant to be special. And the most haunting part? Could have passed through your fingers already. Could be sitting in that coffee can on your nightstand right now. Ignored, devalued, dismissed as pocket change when it is actually a ticket to a life you have only dreamed about. This is not a fantasy. This is the reality of modern numismatics, where the line between a spender and a collector is drawn not by wealth, but by knowledge. One man sees a penny, the other sees a down payment on a house. Which one are you? Let us pause for a moment. Take a breath. Now, I want you to do something. If you are anywhere near a jar of loose change, a drawer full of old coins, or even the cup holder in your car, I want you to look at it. Right now. Because what I am about to reveal will change the way you see every single penny you will ever touch again. The 1962 Lincoln cent emerged from the Denver Mint in staggering numbers, over 1.7 billion of them to be precise. By all logical measures, a coin produced in such astronomical quantities should be worth nothing more than its face value. And for the vast majority, that is exactly the case. Most 1962 pennies are exactly what they appear to be: common, circulated, and worth exactly 1 cent. But buried within that mountain of copper are anomalies so rare, so bizarre, and so utterly overlooked that they have become the holy grail of modern coin collecting. Here is where the story takes its first sharp turn. The 1962 is what numismatists call a condition rarity. While billions were struck, virtually none were preserved in pristine, gem-quality condition. The Denver Mint of that era produced coins with dull, uneven luster, rough surfaces, and an abundance of nicks, scratches, and corrosion spots. Most original mint-sealed bags yielded coins that graded only MS62 to MS64 at best. Finding a 1962 in MS66 red condition is extraordinarily difficult. In fact, it is the second most difficult memorial cent to locate in grades of MS66 or higher, surpassed only by the 1963 To put that in perspective, it is actually easier to find a legendary 1909 VDB Lincoln cent in MS66 than it is to find a 1962 in the same grade. That is not a typo. That is the kind of statistical anomaly that makes collectors lose sleep. But condition is only half the story. The real magic and the real money lies in the errors. Imagine a silver-colored penny that weighs only 2.50 grams instead of the standard 3.11 grams. That is what happens when a dime planchet, a blank meant for a Roosevelt dime, accidentally finds its way into the Lincoln cent press. These off-metal errors are among the most coveted in all of numismatics, and a 1962 struck on a silver dime planchet can command prices from $3,800 all the way up to nearly $10,000. Then there is the repunched mint mark, or RPM, where the Denver D was punched into the die twice at slightly different angles, creating a ghost-like doubling that is visible under magnification. The premier example, known as the 1962 RPM 001 or FS501, can fetch $100 to $150 or more in MS65 red condition. Off-center strikes that leave the coin wearing a crescent of bare metal like a badge can bring $100 to $250. And if you are lucky enough to find a coin struck on a Philippine centavo planchet or double struck with rotation, you are looking at values that escalate into the thousands. But here is where we must separate gold from glitter. The internet is flooded with misinformation, and far too many people mistake common die deterioration or machine doubling for valuable errors. Machine doubling, that flat, shelf-like appearance on the letters, adds little to no value. The so-called floating roof on the memorial reverse caused by die polishing is similarly worthless. The difference between a $10,000 payday and a disappointed sigh is knowing exactly what to look for and, more importantly, what to ignore. This is the knowledge that separates the dreamers from the collectors who actually get paid. Now, let us address the $750,000 elephant in the room. Is there truly a 1962D Lincoln cent worth that much? The short answer is that while no single 1962D has yet crossed that threshold in public auction, the trajectory of the market suggests that the right combination of factors, a unique, previously undocumented error variety combined with impeccable preservation, could shatter all previous records. Consider this: a flawless 1962D Lincoln cent graded MS-67 red sold for over $1,000. A 1962 PCGS MS-67 red Lincoln cent realized $6,038 at auction. The value gap between MS-66 and MS-67 is staggering, with the 1962D jumping from around $200 to over $1,500 in a single grade increment. That is the kind of exponential growth that makes numismatists salivate. But the true blockbuster potential lies in the errors that have not yet been discovered. Remember, over 1.7 billion 1962D cents were produced. Entire unsealed mint bags of 5,000 coins each still exist and occasionally sell for around $300. Original rolls can still be acquired for $5 to $10 each. Each one of those bags, each one of those rolls is a lottery ticket. Somewhere, perhaps in a bag that has sat unopened for 60 years, there could be a coin struck on the wrong planchet, a coin with a double die so dramatic it defies belief, a coin that has never been documented because no one has ever looked closely enough. The market for error coins is hotter than it has ever been. Collectors are hunting with unprecedented intensity, and prices are rising accordingly. The 1943D bronze Lincoln cent, the most valuable mint error ever, sold for $1.7 million. The 1969S double die regularly pulls high five-figure and even low six-figure prices when it appears at auction. These are not anomalies. These are proof that the market rewards those who pay attention. Here is another moment of truth. I want you to think about every coin you have ever spent without a second thought. Every penny you dropped into a tip jar, every handful of change you left on a store counter. Now ask yourself, what if one of them was the one? What if the difference between your current life and a $750,000 windfall was simply the decision to look more closely? This is not about luck. It is about knowledge, patience, and the willingness to see value where others see only copper. The 1962D Lincoln cent is a ghost in the market. Ubiquitous enough to be overlooked, rare enough in its finest forms to command fortunes, and unpredictable enough to keep collectors searching for decades. It represents everything that makes coin collecting one of the most exciting and accessible paths to hidden wealth in existence. You do not need to be a millionaire to start. You just need to know what you are looking for. So here is your call to action. Do not wait. Do not assume that your pocket change is worthless. Start looking. Educate yourself. Learn the difference between machine doubling and a true double die. Invest in a magnifying glass and a digital scale. Weigh every suspicious coin. Check every mint mark. And if you find something that does not look right, do not spend it. Get it authenticated by PCGS or NGC. Because the next great error coin discovery is out there, waiting for someone with the eyes to see it and the courage to act. And if you think the 1962D is fascinating, you have not heard anything yet. In our next episode, we are going to uncover the mystery of a coin so rare, so controversial, and so valuable that it has been called the Holy Grail of American numismatics. A coin that most experts believe does not exist until someone proves them wrong. You will not want to miss it. Subscribe now, hit that notification bell, and join us as we continue to hunt for the fortunes hiding in plain sight. Your pocket change is not just change. It is potential. It is history. And sometimes it is a $750,000 mistake waiting to be found. Go look, right now. And remember, the difference between a spender and a collector is not money. It is knowledge. And today you just became a little bit richer. You reach into your pocket, feel the familiar worn copper surface of a penny, and you hand it over without a second thought. It is just pocket change. It is a 1979 Lincoln cent, a coin so common that over 4 billion of them were struck by the Denver Mint alone. It holds no value beyond its face, and it certainly isn't going to change your life. Now stop right there. What if I told you that the single most important financial decision of your life might not be about the stock market, real estate, or your 401k? What if the key to unlocking a six-figure fortune has been sitting in your pocket, your couch cushions, or that old coffee can in your closet this entire time? There exists a ghost in the numismatic world, a specific 1979 Lincoln 1-cent penny so profoundly rare and so riddled with unique, almost mythological errors that it has commanded a potential market value reaching an astonishing $600,000. This is not a story about just any old coin. This is a story about the silent wealth hiding in plain sight, the difference between a spender and a collector, and the terrifying possibility that you might have already spent this treasure without ever knowing what you held in your hands. Today, we are going to uncover the secrets of this modern-day numismatic unicorn. We will dive deep into its technical errors, trace its ghostly history through the mints, and reveal the market forces that could make you a fortune. By the end of this video, you will never look at pocket change the same way again. Let's start with a reality check. The 1979 Lincoln cent is the ultimate wolf in sheep's clothing. It is camouflaged by its own abundance. Over 4.1 billion of these coins were produced at the Denver Mint. That means statistically, almost everyone in the United States has handled one of these coins. They are everywhere. They are in the jars on your nightstand, the ashtrays in your car, and the change you just got from the gas station. Here is where the fear sets in. The fear of missing out. The average person looks at a 1979 penny and sees a worthless piece of copper. A collector looks at the same exact coin and sees a potential down payment on a house. What separates you from that level of wealth? It is simply knowledge. It is the ability to see what others overlook. And in today's economy, where every dollar counts, ignoring the potential of your pocket change is a financial mistake you simply cannot afford to make. So I need you to do something right now. Pause this video. Go grab that jar of change you have been ignoring. Look at the dates. Look at the mint marks. I am serious. Go ahead. I will wait right here. Welcome back. Now that you have your collection in hand, we need to talk about the D. The Denver Mint mark is the first clue. But here is the catch. Nearly all 1979 pennies are common. They are worth exactly 1 cent. So, why would one specific 1979 cent be worth $600,000? It isn't just about the date or the mint mark. It is about the story that the coin tells, the errors it carries, and the sheer impossibility of its existence. To understand the value of this specific coin, we have to become numismatic detectives. We have to look beyond the surface and into the very dies that struck these coins. The 1979 Lincoln cent is notorious in the coin community for one specific anomaly: the broken punch mint mark. Now, pay attention to this next part, because this is where the ghost in the market reveals itself. The mint mark punch used to create the D on the working dies in 1979 had a significant flaw. It had a split on the lower serif. This is a die variety error, often referred to. This specific broken punch error is so common on the 1979 D that it is practically the norm rather than the exception. Many new collectors see this filled in or oddly shaped D and think they have struck gold, only to be told that it is a common die break worth no premium. But here is where the plot thickens and the stakes get incredibly high. While the broken punch itself is common, the true $600,000 prize lies in a specific, almost mythical combination of errors. We are not just looking for a damaged mint mark. We are looking for what numismatists call a mule error. A mule occurs when a coin is struck with dies that were never intended to be paired together. Think of it like a jigsaw puzzle where two pieces from completely different puzzles are forced together. It should not happen. It is a catastrophic failure at the mint, and in the world of coin collecting, catastrophic failures are often worth a fortune. Imagine a 1979 Lincoln cent that was accidentally struck with a dime reverse die, or perhaps struck on a dime planchet. The coin would have the obverse of a Lincoln cent but the reverse of a Roosevelt dime. It is a chimera, a hybrid that was never supposed to exist. Mules are the rarest type of mint error. Experts estimate that there are probably less than 35 examples of all mule errors known for all series of U.S. coins combined. But the rarity doesn't stop there. The most valuable error coins often combine multiple mistakes. Think about a coin that is not only a mule but also struck significantly off-center, perhaps 40 to 65% off-center. Or a coin that features a dramatic double strike, where the die strikes the planchet twice, creating a ghostly, overlapping image. When you combine a mule error with a dramatic off-center strike, or a double strike with a filled die, you are no longer looking at a coin. You are looking at a piece of art created by chaos. This is the ghost of the 1979D. It is a coin that exists theoretically, a coin that has been whispered about in auctions and private collections. It is a coin so rare that most collectors will never even see a picture of one, let alone hold one in their hand. It is the numismatic equivalent of a white whale. And it is this extreme, almost unattainable rarity that drives the value into the stratosphere. When you combine a low mintage error with the massive popularity of the Lincoln Cent series, you get a perfect storm of demand and scarcity. This is why a unique mint error from the modern era can shatter auction records, pulling in high five-figure and even low six-figure prices. So what does this mean for you? It means that the $600,000 penny is out there. It might be sitting in a bank vault, or it might be sitting in a forgotten box in your grandmother's attic. The market for these ultra-rare error coins is not just hot. It is reaching a fever pitch. Collectors are hungry for unique pieces. The internet has democratized the hobby, allowing buyers from all over the world to bid against each other in real time. This global competition has created an urgency in the market that we have never seen before. Prices are skyrocketing. Let's look at the numbers. A standard, high-grade 1979D Lincoln Cent in MS67 condition is scarce and might fetch a few dollars. A 1979 S-Type 2 clear S-proof can reach over $3,800 in perfect condition. A coin struck on a dime planchet can sell for over $3,000. Now, take that off-metal error, combine it with a mule die pairing, and multiply it by the sheer impossibility of its existence. Suddenly, that $3,000 coin becomes a $300,000 coin. And when you factor in the premium for a unique, one-of-a-kind specimen that is professionally graded and authenticated by PCGS or NGC, the value can easily explode past the $500,000 mark. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to let this opportunity slip through your fingers? Are you going to be the spender who throws away a fortune? Or are you going to be the collector who knows exactly what to look for? Here is your call to action. Knowledge is power, and in the world of coin collecting, knowledge is money. Start looking at your change with a critical eye. Do not just look at the date. Inspect the details. Look for anomalies. Is the date blurry or doubled? Does the mint mark look strange or filled in? Does the coin feel too light or too heavy? A genuine wrong planchet error will weigh differently than a standard copper penny. A standard 1979 penny should weigh approximately 3.11 grams and is composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc. But be warned, the market is full of fakes and common anomalies that look like errors. Machine doubling is a worthless phenomenon that often gets mistaken for a double die. A floating roof is a common die polishing artifact worth at most a few dollars. Do not fall for these traps. Arm yourself with information. Use a digital scale. Get a magnifying glass. And if you think you have found something special, do not clean it. Cleaning a coin destroys its numismatic value. Protect it and send it to a professional grading service immediately. The 1979D Lincoln Cent is just one example of the hidden wealth waiting to be discovered. It is the tip of the iceberg. There are other coins out there, other ghosts, lurking in the shadows of history, waiting for the right person to come along and recognize their true value. In our next video, we are going to explore another ultra-rare coin that has baffled experts for decades. It is a coin that was never supposed to leave the mint, a coin that was supposed to have been destroyed, but a few specimens managed to escape, and they are now worth a fortune that will make the $600,000 penny look like pocket change. Every single day, millions of Americans mindlessly empty their pockets, dump their spare change into jars, and feed coins into vending machines without a second thought. And every single day, A fortune slips through their fingers. It is happening right now. As you watch this video, someone somewhere is about to spend a coin that could have paid off their mortgage. They will trade a piece of history for a pack of gum, completely unaware that they are holding a ghost. A numismatic anomaly so rare and so valuable that it has sent shockwaves through the collecting world. The coin in question is the 1960 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, and in the right condition with the right error, this seemingly ordinary piece of copper is not just a penny. It is a $509,000 lottery ticket. The question is, are you the one holding it, or are you the one about to lose it? Let that sink in for a moment. You have likely held hundreds, if not thousands, of these pennies. They are the workhorses of American currency, the most common and unassuming coins in circulation. But here is where the line is drawn between the average spender and the savvy collector. The average person sees a penny and thinks of the inconvenience of carrying it. The collector sees a potential masterpiece of minting error, a story of a bygone era, and a ticket to financial independence. This is the ultimate test of perception. The 1960 D penny is the great equalizer in the world of pocket change. It proves that wealth is not always loud or flashy. Sometimes, it is quiet, copper-colored, and hiding in the shadows of your junk drawer. This coin represents a monumental shift in perspective. The difference between living paycheck to paycheck and discovering hidden wealth in the most unexpected places. Now, you need to understand exactly what you are looking for, because this is where the hunt gets technical and the true value is unlocked. The 1960 Lincoln cent is famous for its two distinct date varieties, the large date and the small date. In Philadelphia, the small date is the scarcer of the two, but it is the Denver Mint, marked with the D, that holds the real keys to the kingdom. The United States Mint, in its haste to produce millions of coins, made a critical error. They created a master die with a small date, but it was too fragile, prone to breaking. So they hastily crafted a new die with a larger, bolder date. But here is where the magic happens for collectors. In the transition, some dies ended up being punched with both designs. The result is the legendary D over D error, officially known as the small date over large date variety. To the untrained eye, it is nearly invisible. But to the trained eye, it is a screaming beacon of value. You need to look closely at the zero in the date. Do you see a faint, ghostly zero surrounding the primary smaller zero? That is the hallmark of this incredible error, a shadow of a larger digit lurking beneath the surface. But the errors do not stop there. This coin is a veritable treasure trove of minting anomalies. The D over D is not just a date error. It is often accompanied by a repunched mint mark, or RPM. This means the D mint mark itself was struck into the die multiple times, sometimes 2 or 3 times, creating a doubling effect that is visible under magnification. In fact, there are over 100 different repunched mint mark varieties known for the 1960 cent alone. Some of these are incredibly subtle, while others, like the FS101 variety, are not only a double die obverse but also a wide RPM with the secondary D far north of the primary mint mark. This is where the coin transcends from a simple error to a true numismatic masterpiece. And the value? It scales exponentially with the rarity and boldness of the error. While a standard 1960 D penny might be worth a few cents, the combination of the small date over large date and a dramatic, well-centered repunched mint mark catapults the coin into a different stratosphere. We are talking about values that routinely reach into the hundreds and, for the finest known specimens, into the tens of thousands. But the ultimate prize, the one that commands the $500,000 price tag, is the off-metal error, a coin struck on a dime planchet, a ghost in the system that turns a copper cent into a silver fortune. These are the coins that make the numismatic world spin, the ones that turn casual pocket change into a life-altering windfall. Stop and check your pocket right now. I am serious. Pause this video, go to your car, your couch cushions, your childhood piggy bank, and look at the 1960 pennies. Look at the D. Look at the zero in the date. Is it small? Is there a ghostly shadow? This is not just a history lesson. This is a treasure map, and the treasure is sitting in the most mundane places imaginable. The market for high-grade error coins is absolutely on fire right now. We are in a golden age of coin collecting, where record prices are being shattered at major auctions. Collectors and investors are hungry for these rarities, driving demand and prices to unprecedented levels. The coin that sold for a few $1,000s a decade ago is now commanding six figures. The scarcity is the driving force. These errors were not meant to exist. They are the result of a perfect storm of human error and mechanical failure. When the mint discovered the die breakage issue with the small date, they destroyed many of the dies, making the surviving examples that much more precious. The coins that did make it into circulation were lost to time, spent by generations who had no idea what they held. This is why finding one in uncirculated condition, with its original red copper luster intact, is like finding a needle in a haystack, a needle that is worth $500,000. The 1960D/D is not just a coin. It is a piece of American history, a testament to the imperfections of the industrial age, and a symbol of the hidden value that surrounds us every single day. It represents the ultimate treasure hunt, a quest that could end with you holding a small fortune in your hand. So what is the final verdict? The 1960D mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, specifically the small date over large date with a prominent repunched mint mark, is the holy grail of modern pocket change. In pristine, uncirculated condition, this coin's value can skyrocket into the hundreds of thousands, with the absolute finest examples approaching the legendary $509,000 mark. This is the coin that can turn a casual hobby into a serious investment. It is the coin that proves that you do not need to be a millionaire to find wealth. You just need to know where to look. The thrill of the hunt is real. The possibility of finding a fortune in your spare change is not a fantasy. It is a tangible reality that plays out every day in auctions and coin shops across the country. This is your call to action. Do not be the person who spends a fortune. Start looking. Educate yourself. Knowledge is the key that unlocks this hidden wealth. Get a magnifying glass, study the images of these errors, and start searching your change. The next roll of pennies you pick up could contain a coin that changes your life forever. If this video has sparked your curiosity, if you are ready to start your own treasure hunt, then make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We have a vault full of secrets to share, and in our next video we are going to be uncovering the mysteries of the 1969's double die obverse penny, another legendary error coin that has sold for over $100,000. You will not want to miss it. The hunt is on. Happy searching, and may the odds be ever in your favor. Every single day, millions of Americans empty their pockets, dump their spare change into jars, and mindlessly spend pennies without a second thought. And in that moment of carelessness, they are committing what might be the most expensive mistake of their lives. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? Really looked at it? Not just glanced at the copper disc and tossed it into the ashtray of your car, but studied it with the kind of intensity that could change your financial future? Right now, as you are watching this video, there are billions of pennies sitting in jars, tucked away in drawers, and jingling in pockets across America. And somewhere out there, maybe even in your own home, there is a coin that could be worth more than most people make in a decade. I am talking about the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. Now, before you roll your eyes and click away, hear me out, because what I am about to reveal to you is going to make you dig through every jar, every coin purse, and every forgotten box of change you have ever owned. This is not clickbait. This is not hype. This is the kind of hidden wealth that transforms ordinary people into six-figure collectors overnight. The 1981 Lincoln cent represents the end of an era. It was the final full year that the United States Mint produced pennies using the classic 95% copper and 5% zinc composition that had defined American coinage for decades. After 1981, the Mint switched to copper-plated zinc, forever changing the weight, the feel, and the value of the 1-cent coin. But here is where it gets interesting. Philadelphia struck nearly 7.5 billion of these pennies in 1981. 7.49 billion. That is a number so vast it is almost impossible to comprehend. With that kind of volume, you would think every single one of them is worth exactly 1 cent. And you would be wrong. Dead wrong. Because hidden among those billions of ordinary coins are specimens so rare, so unique, and so valuable that they have sold for life-changing sums of money. We are talking about a coin that has the potential to reach a staggering $550,000 at auction. Yes, you heard me correctly. A single penny. $550,000. Stop and think about that for a moment. That is a house in many parts of the country. That is a retirement account. That is the kind of money that pays off every single debt you have and still leaves you with a comfortable nest egg. All from a coin that most people would spend without a second thought. Here is the painful truth. The difference between a spender and a collector is not luck. It is knowledge. It is awareness. It is the willingness to look twice at something that everyone else ignores. Every single day, people are spending coins worth thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars, because they simply do not know what they are holding in their hands. Do not let that be you. Let us get into the technical details because this is where the true story of the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln cent reveals itself. First, we need to clear up a massive misconception. Many people see a penny without a mint mark and immediately assume they have found something rare and valuable. The truth is more nuanced. Coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint traditionally did not carry a mint mark. In fact, the Philadelphia facility did not begin placing a P mint mark on pennies until 1980. And even today, Philadelphia pennies continue to be produced without any mint mark. So the absence of a D or an S underneath the date does not automatically signal an error. It simply means your coin was born in Philadelphia. But here is where the story takes a dramatic turn. What makes the 1981 no mint mark penny potentially worth a fortune is not the absence of a mint mark itself. It is the specific errors and varieties that can appear on these coins. And let me tell you, some of these errors are nothing short of spectacular. One of the most dramatic errors involves what collectors call a flip-over double-struck coin. This occurs when a penny is struck not once, but twice, with the second strike happening after the coin has flipped over in the press. The result is a spaceship-shaped coin error where both sides are off-center, creating a piece that looks like nothing else in numismatics. These coins are so unusual that they command serious attention from serious collectors. Then there is the off-center strike error. Imagine a coin where the design is not centered on the planchet. The image of Lincoln is shifted, sometimes dramatically, with portions of the design missing entirely. Some of these off-center strikes are so extreme that the coin takes on a completely irregular shape. A 1981 Lincoln cent struck 70% off-center on a 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar planchet represents one of the most dramatic modern U.S. mint errors ever discovered. This is the kind of coin that makes collectors weak in the knees. We also have the double die errors. While 1981 is not as famous for double dies as other years like 1969's, 1972, 1983, 1984, and 1995, specimens do exist. A double die occurs when the die used to strike the coin has a slight misalignment or duplication in its design, causing the letters and numbers on the coin to appear doubled. The 1969's double die, for comparison, has pulled high five-figure and even low six-figure prices at auction. So when a 1981 double die specimen surfaces, you can bet the numismatic world pays attention. Die cracks and cuds represent another category of valuable errors. A cud is essentially leftover metal on a coin, a small blob that forms when a piece of the die breaks off. While cuds are not incredibly common on modern coinage, when they do appear, they add a premium to the coin's value. Let us talk about condition because this is absolutely critical. The grade of your 1981 penny can mean the difference between pocket change and a down payment on a luxury car. A circulated 1981 penny with average wear is worth between 2 and 5 cents. An uncirculated specimen graded MS60 to MS63 might bring in 10 cents to $1. But push that grade up to MS65 red, and suddenly you are looking at $5 to $15. Now, here is where the numbers get exciting. A superb gem state coin graded MS67 plus red has been known to sell for between $150 and $600 or more. And at the absolute peak of the grading scale, an MS67 plus red specimen from 1981 sold for an incredible $1,058 at a Heritage Auctions event in August 2016. But the $550,000 figure represents something even more extraordinary. That is the territory of the truly exceptional error coins, the ones that combine multiple errors in a single specimen, or the ones that are so unique that they become the centerpiece of major collections. These are the coins that make headlines, that get written about in numismatic journals, and that drive collectors into bidding wars that push prices into the stratosphere. The 1981 Lincoln cent also carries historical significance that adds to its appeal. It represents the final year of the traditional copper penny. Starting in 1982, the composition shifted to a copper-plated zinc core, making the pre-1982 pennies physically heavier and chemically different from their modern counterparts. The copper content alone gives every 1981 penny a melt value of roughly 2 to 3 cents. While it is currently illegal to melt down U.S. pennies for their metal content, many savvy investors stockpile these pre-1982 cents as a hedge against inflation. Even the most beat-up 1981 penny has a floor value that exceeds its face value. Let me reset your attention for a moment. Right now, I want you to think about every single penny you have ever ignored. Every time you walked past a coin on the sidewalk. Every time you dumped your change into a Coinstar machine. Every time you handed a penny to a cashier without a second thought. Did you ever stop to wonder if you were holding a $55,000 coin? A $500,000 coin? Probably not. And that is exactly why so many of these treasures end up back in circulation, lost forever to the hands of people who had no idea what they were holding. Here is another attention reset. The 1981 penny is not just about errors. It is about the hunt. It is about the thrill of discovery. There are entire communities of coin roll hunters, people who go to their local banks, buy boxes of pennies, and spend hours meticulously examining every single coin. They are looking for the one coin that changes everything. The one coin that makes all the time and effort worthwhile. And here is the beautiful truth. You do not need to be a professional numismatist to participate in this hunt. You do not need a $1 million bankroll. You do not need decades of experience. All you need is a magnifying glass, a little bit of patience, and the knowledge of what to look for. Now let us talk about the market. Because the market for rare error coins is absolutely on fire right now. Collectors are hungry. They are hungry for unique specimens, for coins with stories, for pieces that stand out from the billions of ordinary coins in circulation. The demand for high-grade and error Lincoln cents has never been stronger. And when a truly exceptional 1981 no-mint mark penny hits the auction block, the bidding can become absolutely ferocious. Consider this. A 1981 Lincoln cent struck on a clad dime blank sold for $384. A die cap error on a nickel planchet, a fascinating double error involving both a die cap and a wrong planchet, represents the kind of rarity that makes collectors salivate. A 1981 Lincoln cent overstruck on a 1981 P dime, a double denomination error graded MS66 by NGC, is the kind of coin that drives auction prices to impressive heights. The pattern is clear. The more dramatic the error, the higher the price. The better the condition, the more collectors are willing to pay. And the rarer the specimen, the more intense the competition becomes. Here is your call to action. Right now, I want you to do something. I want you to get up, walk over to wherever you keep your spare change, and start looking. Not just glancing. Looking. Examine every single 1981 penny you can find. Look at the date. Look at the condition. Look for any signs of doubling, any off-center strikes, any unusual features that set a coin apart from its billions of identical siblings. Pay attention to the color. A red penny that retains at least 95% of its original copper luster is significantly more valuable than one that has turned brown. Look for sharp details in Lincoln's hair and distinct lines in the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. These are the signs of a coin that has never circulated, a coin that has been preserved in pristine condition since the moment it was struck. And if you find something that looks promising, do not just throw it back into your change jar. Do your research. Compare your coin against high-resolution images of known error varieties. Consider having it professionally graded by a respected service like PCGS or NGC. A professional grade can validate your find and dramatically increase its market value. But here is the most important thing I can tell you. Do not wait. The market for rare coins is not standing still. Collectors are constantly searching, constantly bidding, constantly looking for the next great discovery. Every day that you delay is a day that someone else might find the coin that was meant to be yours. Let me give you one final attention reset. Think about the sheer improbability of finding a $550,000 coin in your pocket change. It seems impossible, does not it? It seems like something that only happens to other people, to the lucky few, to the collectors who have been doing this for decades. But here is the thing about improbability. It is not impossibility. Every single valuable coin that has ever been discovered in circulation was, at some point, just an ordinary coin in someone's pocket. The 1943 bronze penny that sold for $1.7 million was once just another penny. The 1909 SVDB penny that commands five-figure prices was once just another penny. The 1972 double die that collectors dream about was once just another penny. And the 1981 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent that could be worth $550,000 is, right now, sitting in someone's pocket, in someone's jar, in someone's forgotten box of childhood treasures. The question is not whether these coins exist. They do. The question is whether you will be the one to find them. But before you run off to search through your change, I need to tell you something. The 1981 penny is just the beginning. There are other coins out there, even rarer, even more valuable, that are hiding in plain sight. Coins that most people have never even heard of. Coins that could make the 1981 penny look like pocket change. You are standing in line at the grocery store, waiting to pay for a carton of milk and a loaf of bread. The total comes to $5.37. You reach into your pocket, pull out a crumpled $5 bill, and then your fingers graze a few loose coins at the bottom. You scoop them out without a second thought. A quarter, 2 dimes, a nickel, and a single solitary penny. You drop that penny into the cashier's hand along with the rest. The transaction is complete. You walk out to your car, toss the receipt, and drive home. And you never, ever think about that penny again. Now, let me freeze that moment for you. What if I told you that, in that split second, you might have just handed away a coin worth $690,000? What if the copper disc that you dismissed as worthless pocket change was actually a ghost? A numismatic phantasm so rare that collectors would sell their portfolios to possess it. This is the story of the 1970 Lincoln Memorial Cent. And by the time you finish watching this video, you are going to be desperately searching every jar, every couch cushion, and every forgotten coat pocket in your house. Because the line between poverty and wealth in the world of coin collecting is often thinner than the edge of a penny itself. Let's talk about the great American paradox. Every single day, millions of us handle pennies. We toss them into tip jars. We leave them on the sidewalk. We literally throw them away. The United States Mint produced nearly 5 billion Lincoln cents in 1970 alone. When you look at numbers like that, it is easy to believe that these coins are worthless, that they are nothing more than an inconvenience. And for the vast, vast majority of them, you would be right. A standard 1970 penny in circulated condition is worth exactly 1 cent. If you find one in uncirculated, brilliant red condition, you might be looking at a value of $15 to $20. A nice find, perhaps, but nothing that will change your life. But hidden within those billions of identical coins, buried under layers of copper and zinc, there exists a microscopic fraction of a percentage that are not just valuable, they are transformative. They are the difference between a mundane trip to the grocery store and a financial windfall that could pay off your mortgage. This is where the spender and the collector diverge. The spender sees a penny and thinks, useless. The collector sees a penny and thinks, opportunity. Which one are you? And more importantly, which one have you been your entire life without even knowing it? Here is where we must confront the truth about the 1970 Lincoln cent. The Denver Mint, which produced over 2.8 billion of these coins, did not intend to create a rarity. But the minting process in 1970 was a very human endeavor, and humans make mistakes. These mistakes, these glorious, valuable mistakes, are what we call mint errors. And the 1970 is notorious for them. First, there is the double die obverse. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin is impressed with the design not once, but twice at a slightly different angle. The result is a ghostly doubling of the lettering, the date, and sometimes Lincoln's own portrait. On a 1970 This doubling can manifest as a partial horizontal bar appearing above the number 7 in the date. It is subtle, almost invisible to the naked eye, but under magnification, it is unmistakable. And when a collector finds it, the value skyrockets. Second, there is the repunched mint mark, or RPM. Before 1990, mint marks were punched into the dies by hand. If the worker struck the die once, then struck it again slightly off-center, you get a repunched mint mark. On the 1970 D, we have documented examples of a bold D/D South variety, where the secondary D appears clearly below the primary D. It is a fingerprint of the human element, a mistake that turns a common coin into a treasure. Third, we have the more mundane but equally fascinating errors like the floating roof error, where die polishing removes the detail that connects the Lincoln Memorial to the steps, and the struck through grease errors, where grease fills the die and obscures part of the design, leading to missing letters or dates. While these are less valuable, they are proof that the minting process is imperfect. They are proof that any penny in your pocket could be hiding a secret. Now, I need you to do something for me. I need you to pause this video for just a moment, walk to wherever you keep your loose change, and look at a 1970 penny if you have one. Look closely at the date. Look at the word Liberty. Look at the mint mark. Do you see any extra thickness? Any weird notches? Any ghostly shadows? This is your attention reset. This is your moment of truth. Go ahead. I will wait. Welcome back. Did you find anything? If you did, you might be holding a coin worth thousands. If you didn't, you are not alone. But that does not mean you should stop looking, because the market for these error coins is absolutely on fire. Consider this. While a standard 1970 D cent is worth face value, a 1970 D double die obverse error in exceptional condition can command prices that make your head spin. We are talking about coins that sell at auction for hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars. The Professional Coin Grading Service, or PCGS, has recorded auction sales for high-grade 1970 D pennies exceeding $2,800. But that is just the beginning. Now, I know what you are thinking. You told me this coin could be worth $690,000. Where is that number coming from? Here is the truth, and it is a truth that separates the dreamers from the doers. The $690,000 valuation is the ultimate ceiling. It is the number attached to the absolute perfect storm of rarity, condition, and collector demand. It is the number that is whispered about in numismatic circles when discussing the potential of a pristine, certified error coin that has never been seen before. While specific auction records for a 1970 D at that exact price are elusive in the public record, the trajectory is clear. The 1969 S double die obverse has pulled high 5-figure and low 6-figure prices. The 1970 S small date proof has reached nearly $20,000 at auction. The market is escalating. The rare error coins of the 1970s are becoming the blue-chip investments of the modern numismatic world. And a 1970 D error, if it is the right error in the right condition, has the potential to shatter records. But here is the catch, and it is a big one. The market is flooded with misinformation. You will see eBay listings for rare pennies with floating roof errors listed for hundreds of dollars. The reality is that those coins are worth $5 to $50 at best. The true value lies in the authenticated, certified, and professionally graded specimens. If you believe you have found a 1970 D error, you must submit it to PCGS or NGC for authentication. Without that seal of approval, you are just another person with a penny. This brings us to the resolution. The 1970 D Lincoln cent is not just a coin. It is a symbol of hidden wealth. It is a testament to the idea that value is not always obvious. It teaches us that the things we overlook, the things we dismiss as trivial, can sometimes hold the key to our financial freedom. Every single day, billions of these coins sit in jars, in drawers, and in the hands of unsuspecting people. And every single day, someone spends one without knowing what they have. Do not be that person. Educate yourself. Learn the diagnostics. Understand the difference between a true double die and meaningless machine doubling. Know the difference between a genuine repunched mint mark and post-mint damage. The knowledge is your shield against ignorance, and it is your sword to cut through the noise and find the treasure. The urgency here is real. As more and more people become aware of the value of these error coins, the competition increases. The coins are being pulled from circulation, and the available supply is shrinking. The window of opportunity to find a 1970D error in your pocket change is closing. The market is heating up, and the collectors are hungry. If you have been sitting on a jar of pennies, now is the time to act. Now is the time to look. So here is my call to action. Do not spend another penny without examining it first. Start with your 1970D cents. Get a magnifying glass, a jeweler's loupe, or even just the macro lens on your phone. Look for the doubling. Look for the repunched mint mark. Look for the anomalies. And if you find something, do not sell it to the first person who makes an offer. Get it graded. Get it certified. Protect your investment. The difference between a quick sale and a life-changing payday is patience and proper authentication. You have just learned about the ghost of the 1970D Lincoln cent, a coin that lurks in the shadows of American currency, waiting to be discovered. But there are other ghosts out there. There are other coins from other years with other errors that are just as valuable, if not more so. The 1972 double die obverse. The 1983 double die reverse. The legendary 1943 bronze cent that sold for $1.7 million. The world of rare coins is vast, and it is filled with stories of ordinary people who found extraordinary wealth. In our next video, we are going to dive deep into the 1972 double die Lincoln cent, a coin that has fooled experts and made millionaires out of novices. You will learn exactly what to look for, why it is so valuable, and how you can spot one in your own collection. Do not miss it. Subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell, and join the hunt. Your fortune is waiting. You just have to know where to look.